One of the guys that's taken that extreme high line. Is that Eckes? And he tries to squeeze in a hole that isn't there.
This wasn't there. That's Jake Garcia, the 13 truck.
I think that was Tom Majeski
right in front of him.
Yeah, and look how close this is. Couple of fast trucks. We talked about Garcia. We talked about Lane Riggs.
And look at Sanchez going by, the 2 truck on the very bottom of the apron of the racetrack.
That does a great job of not letting that truck weave back up in front of that traffic. Kept her low.
Looked like the 38 of Lane Riggs has some damage from that contact. Here's another look.
Tries to squeeze in a hole that isn't there.
It might have been there for a split second, and that's the thing, that these holes close up so fast.
Ooh, there's the contact right there.
Because of the way these trucks with the big cabs, the way they close, their closing rate is so much. Teammate coming up to help Bailey.
Oh, we got a truck going around. The 91 at Jack Wood, right the infield grass, right in front of the start-finish line, and the yellow flag is out for the 4th time.
Does he try to get in a hole that's not there? He does. That's a shame.
Gets into the 32, I believe. Was that Brett Holmes?
And that's what we're seeing, you know, as the race goes on, trying to squeeze in. It's happened from the beginning, just trying to squeeze in holes that just aren't quite there. Sometimes if your spotter yells, clear up, you better make sure you're clear up.
It might have been that way for that instant, but the
front straightaway. And what you're going to see is this is a little tricky area. He had to check up a little bit not to run into Jeff Burton, and then that just kind of gets things a little stacked up. And he just gets pushed around. Little slide does a good job at keeping it down. This is where you get nervous when you see someone sliding into one, is if they're going to come back up the racetrack and wipe out a bunch of cars. JJ, experienced driver, did a good job at holding the bottom while he's spinning. After that, he's going to need 4 tires and a change of pants.
In the middle lane, so you better get off the bottom as quick as you can.
Well, why is that? A little bit more banking. You get trapped on the bottom like you...
Trouble! One car slides to the infield, Austin Dillon, and they pile up behind him.
That's 2 weeks in a row early out for Austin Dillon. I don't know how much damage he has, but there's a bunch of them, folks. You got...
Yeah, and Clint, as we go back and look at this, you're going to see them all stack up. Where's the risk, right? You know, you start at the back of these fields and you put yourself in harm's way, but man, that is not what a lot of these guys wanted to see early. This is
accordion effect. We saw it at Daytona time and time again. Look at the accordion back here.
What happened was Todd Gilliland trying to make a hole for Michael McDowell to get up in that preferred lane in the middle, stack that whole lineup really hard.
Those guys had nowhere to go, didn't see it, landed right in their lap.
What a mess. Watch Todd Gilliland, the 38 car right here. He's going to check up to try to make a hole for Michael McDowell, and it checks up this whole line. And all of a sudden, that accordion just gets deep.
Denny Hamlin just missed the 3.
You see Harrison Burton around.
We're under caution. Just 2 laps into the Ambetter Health 400 in Atlanta. This car to the garage. Repairs complete on Chase Elliott and Noah Gregson. Only Alex Bowman still sits on pit road as a result of this.
Offset to the car in front of him, and he's already loose, and this corner is notorious for just losing grip like that. And with that right front fender staggered from the car in front of him, it just stepped out on him. Got lucky. Byron.
So did William Byron, yeah. And hey, they're going to put 4 new Goodyears on that car right there and be just fine. Probably an adjustment. I need a round of wedge, Kate.
Yeah, and you see him just up here in clean air, and that right front fender just amplifies everything that he has going on with this car. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a long day for him.
Now this is William Byron. Talk about close calls. 467 races, finally got his first career pole, and he's got the nose of that car in the wind.
Denny Hamlin
around goes Hamlin, sliding down toward the apron in turn number 1, and caution is out. Hamlin was in 6th place.
So you can see him and Kyle Busch on the bottom. Kyle comes up, gets into his left rear corner, and turns him around.
Yeah, and that would look like the classic case of 2 got one going up, one coming down. these cars are just, I mean, that was pretty heavy contact, but they're light going through the front straightaway like that through the quad oval.
From the 8.
It pulled him in. He definitely lifted big time before they hit.
Yeah, he did everything he could do right there. I still think that the 11 was coming down a little bit, but when Kyle saw him coming down a little bit.
No, but when they do make a mistake like that in front of you and you're down low, that's where it's problematic.
Oh, crash. William Byron and Michael McDowell have crashed on the apron.
Get back on if you can.
No caution.
No caution yet.
They're
not going to want to throw it because of the scenario that it would unfold.
William Byron slowing for pit road behind Kyle Larson, and McDowell locks him up.
Rear tire, you saw the smoke come out of the rear tires right there, and that thing started sliding, and he just lost control of his car and hit William Byron.
Once again, no caution flag. BJ McLeod too fast on pit road, and now the leader, Bubba Wallace, is coming to pit lane.
Two green, no mistake, two green on pit road.
Just that right rear tire locked up and shot the thing around.
The double line to improve your position. You will get a penalty.
He certainly got rammed.
Oh,
reckon.
No, Logano. Buescher, Hamlin pile up on the last lap of stage 2.
Yeah, and that was just a late block from what I saw right there. And as these cars get close, both of them are going to get tight. You see the flames come out of the pipe of Joey Logano's car, and those cars are almost stuck together. They aren't stuck together, but from an aero standpoint, they are stuck together and just want to go straight.
Well, the air off the 22 changing direction there is why the 17 got tight, right? He goes up. It was pretty obvious to me that he was trying to fill that gap, slow the block, slow the run by Buescher. And as soon as he moved, not only did he get tight, Buescher did as well.
Yeah, and you see him sliding down the back straightaway here. The 11 car of Denny Hamlin had a lot of contact, but you're going to see Joey Logano come up, and when he gets behind this 12 car right here, that's when the thing takes off.
You can hear him lift before the contact.
And that's what we've been talking about all day, is when these cars get behind one another, they just lose all that front downforce in the front.
That air is so important, and you could see it firsthand right there with Buescher. As soon as that 22 car moved in front of him, he went to move, and that thing was along for the ride.
This is Chris Buescher. Wow.
See Gilliland falling off a little bit, maybe some handling woes.
Oh, big spinner down to the apron, up toward traffic. It is Chase Elliott.
Did a good job keeping that car down.
Caution.
The throttle. Caution is out.
We're rolling if you can.
Excuse me, Chase Elliott 3 wide. Chastain gets to his bumper, getting into the corner. Got into him. Turns him around.
Yeah, and that's right in that vulnerable spot of the bumps and where you're trying to let off the throttle. So hard to tell exactly what happened there. Obviously, the one car is in the back of him, but did Chase lift?
Well, for one thing,
Here we go.
Chastain and Bubba Wallace are racing for the free pass position.
Yeah, and you see the one car really hard into the back of the back
Chase
of the 9
was in a
car
bad
there.
spot. I think you nailed it. He was 3 wide getting in, needed to lift a little bit to save his car. Chastain ran him over. All right, Larry.
See him go in right there, go up the racetrack, get a little bit loose. The car gets away. 7 and 5 pile in.
5, 6, and 7.
And that's how close these cars to being on the edge are. You see Brad just wiggle a little bit, but every single corner is just like that for these drivers. You are making small corrections with the wheels lap after lap, and with all these cars and all this energy, you're doing everything that you can do. As we take a look from the back bumper of Brad Keselowski, you see him wiggle, start to slide. 5 and 7.
Joy's view. Minor damage to LaJoy.
As we go on board here with Kyle, Brad steps out. He's just wrong place, wrong time, and that's just bad luck. And you want to race
speed in the 14 is what makes him dangerous. He's able to
4 wide.
puts him in bad spots. There he goes. He's around.
Yeah.
Off the nose of Denny Hamlin, who also is involved. Chase Briscoe. Larry, you missed it by a lap. I'm sorry, buddy.
Well, and that's exactly what we talked about, Clint. You know, Briscoe just kept putting his car in position after position. Bubba Wallace tried to go through the middle, and they were too wide below him, and he just lost it.
Shot the gap one too many times.
Yeah, and you want to be aggressive, and you want to keep doing everything that you need to do to go forward, but at that particular point, he just got a little tap from the 11 underneath him there because they were 4 wide. There was just nowhere to go and wound up getting spun out.
Can't say he wasn't going for it.
Yeah, and that's just, you know, they're too wide below Chase there, and Spotter's going to
giving up anything. That hurt us in qualifying, but here we are at the end. We got cars together, Mike.
The 4 into the fence, and the 9 of Chase Elliott goes for a double spin there. Whoa, close call.
And when we talk about tight, for those of you at home that don't know, we see the 23 car and the 4 have a little contact, and the 4
basically the aftermath of all of that transpired, getting into 1, finally wrecked down the backstretch.
When we talk about tight, that means the front tires won't turn. So Austin Cindric went into that corner, and the front of his car just would not steer, and he gets stuck in the middle, and you see the 23 car get a little bit loose, and then Josh Berry check up just a little bit and got loose behind him and spun out.
I'm glad we saw that angle right there.
Yeah.
That movement of air is what made Berry loose. As soon as he got loose in front of him, it took the air off of his car. That wake in front of him dumped all the air off of his, and boy, around it went.
Yeah, and a lot of times in that situation, Clint, when you've got the wheel in it like that and you just check up, that car will sometimes just unload and spin out. It's hard to tell if the 4 car had to check up right there when the 23 got a little bit sideways there, but
that just lifted Carson Hocevar.
Yeah, it was amazing. As soon as Wallace's car got loose, that thing followed suit right behind him.